My name is A.J. Bernard. I'm the pastor at Frankfort United Methodist Church in Frankfort, Ohio. And I wanted to get back into doing videos. I've kind of gotten away from doing videos. We moved, as you can tell, if you were watching some of my previous videos, I'm in a new place. It's a great place out in the woods outside of Chillicothe, Ohio. But some of my previous videos, I would have Bible text up on the screen. I would read just little tiny me down in the corner, expounding on some aspect of Scripture. And I want to get back to doing those. I really love doing those. I love talking about the Scripture. But today, I've had the issue of abortion sort of popping up all over the place. And I wanted to talk about a particular argument that a friend of mine made in defense of abortion. Now, this is not a comprehensive argument against abortion, and I only want to deal with a specific argument. If you're looking for a silver bullet to defeat all things, I wish you luck. Hope you find one. But this argument deals with the bodily autonomy argument. This is a response to bodily autonomy. And the argument for bodily autonomy goes like this. It says that a woman has a right to do what she wants to do with her own body, that no one can tell her what she can and cannot do with her own body. That she has a right to choose whether or not to have this baby because it is impinging on her bodily autonomy. Now, that's the argument that I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with other arguments. So there are lots of other arguments, and if you like, I mean, if you think that's a worthwhile cause, I'll deal with some of those as well. Just leave your comments in the doobly-doo, as Matt Colville says, or in the put your comments down below the video, and I will. If there's enough interest, I'll make some more videos on this subject. But the argument from bodily autonomy, I think, ignores a massive elephant in the room. See, we start thinking right after the point where we should start thinking. Our arguments, instead of beginning here, begin here, right? Rather than, okay, so what is the problem with the argument from bodily autonomy, that a woman has a right to do whatever she wants to do with her own body? Well, here's the scenario. Suppose I go to a gun store and I buy a pistol, right? I buy a pistol, I buy a revolver, or I buy an automatic, whatever, and I buy the proper ammunition, I buy the proper magazine for the weapon, and then I go and get training on how to properly use the weapon, how to fire it and clean it and take it apart and reassemble it, and I learn everything I need to know about this weapon, right? Then I bring the weapon home and I load it properly. I put the proper bullets in the proper magazine. I put the magazine in a jack slide so that it's there's a round in the chamber, or I make sure there's bullets in the cylinder. And then I point the gun at my foot and I pull the trigger. But I don't want to get shot. I absolutely do not want to be shot. I don't want the bullet to damage my foot. But I have complete bodily autonomy. I can do everything that I have done up to this point. I'm allowed to. I want to. I've chosen this set of steps to bring me to this point where I point the gun at my foot and pull the trigger. But I don't want to get shot. You see, being shot would violate my bodily autonomy, and I choose to not get shot. Some of you are laughing at me, and some of you are horrified. Some of you are saying, well, if you don't want to get shot, don't shoot yourself. And I completely agree. I completely agree. The point here is this. If you take a series of actions which leads to a predictable outcome, you are not free to avoid the consequences of that outcome. That is, you have, in your autonomy, in your complete autonomy, you have chosen to accept the consequences of this series of actions. Now, for those who are not quite picking up what I'm putting down, let me break it down for you. A woman goes to a bar, or she goes somewhere and she picks up a man and she takes him back to her apartment, or he takes her to his, it doesn't matter. They go someplace private and they engage in a series of activities culminating or resulting in, maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to get too into detail here, in an activity which results in a predictable consequence. For those of you who don't know, talk to your parents. Ask your parents about the birds and the bees, or, if you're old enough. Whatever. So there is a predictable result from sexual intercourse, and that is babies. Just like I don't have the right to not be shot in the foot after I point a loaded gun at my foot and pull the trigger, someone who engages in sexual activity has chosen to accept the consequences of that activity. Now, what about rape? Rape's already illegal, right? It's already illegal, and if you're raped, that's a horrible, horrible thing, and you should absolutely go to the police as soon as possible and report what happened. And I know there's the argument from rape, incest, life of the mother. Statistically, that's less than 1.5% of all abortions. So if we could agree that rape, incest, and life of the mother are acceptable reasons to have abortions, which I don't, at least on rape and incest, we could still eliminate 98.5% of all abortions. But that's not the argument that I'm here to deal with today. I'm here to deal with the argument from bodily autonomy. If you engage in a series of activities, if you willfully engage in a series of activities which has a predictable consequence or a predictable result, you are not free. That is, you have willfully chosen to waive your freedom from, I'm sure there's a better phrase here, and I wish I had thought of it before I recorded the video. You have willfully chosen to absolve yourself of the right to avoid those consequences. I hope that helps. My name is AJ Bernard. I'm the pastor at Frankfort United Methodist in Frankfort, Ohio. And if you like what I do here, subscribe, share the video, comment. If you want to see more, if you want to suggest a particular topic, please leave a comment as well with that. And I will hopefully be doing a lot more of these because I think I've got something worthwhile to say. God bless.